guys, welcome back to my channel. You know, it's been almost 2 months since I put up a games that I'm currently playing list, and I thought I would do that today. So let's get into it right away. As you guys know from the last video, I've been playing a ton of RPGs, and that hasn't changed too much. You know, the last update I was talking about how I was playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm still playing it. Like, this game is phenomenal. I've been playing, of course, without a guide or anything like that. It is such a wonderful game to just sort of explore. And that's essentially what I've been doing in this game. Just wandering around through these wonderful environments that are so diverse. It's been a lot of fun. Not to mention, at times I get into areas where I am not well equipped to be in. And it's difficult at times. Sometimes things are really easy, there's surprises. I've been really enjoying my time and slowly going through that game. It's been real fun. So I'm hoping that I can pick up the pace a little bit with it, because, you know, I do want to make sure I finish it for the end of the year, because it is on my games to beat. Just like last time, I'm still playing the action RPG The Witcher 3. Now, this game, it's funny, because the last video update about games that I was playing, I mentioned how I had gotten to the part of the game where I was all the way back in 2015 when the game first came out. And that's like maybe an hour, maybe hour and a half in. I have not really moved on much from that point. And I don't quite know why yet, to be honest. I think it's just I just haven't put enough dedicated time into it. I love it. I think this is by far one of the most beautiful games I've seen in ages. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful game. So I do want to put more into that, and I haven't really been playing much, as you can imagine, with it. I've been spending more time with my RPG, mainly as Zelda, because it just captivates you. It's just such a wonderful game to play. Now, a part of the reason why I probably haven't been playing too much of The Witcher actually has to do with a game that I've always wanted to play. And I'm sure it's just not me, but I'm sure there are many of you out there where you get into these gaming moods where you're like, I don't feel like playing an RPG, I feel like playing an action game or a racing game or a fighting game. You get these hankerings. And I've learned a long time ago to not fight those urges and just go with it, because it's much more fun and enjoyable that way. In many cases, especially if it's a game in your backlog, or in my case, a game that was on my to-beat list for this year, it was a no-brainer. I had this hankering to play Yakuza Kiwami. Now, I've told the backstory all those years ago in Pizza Hut, where they had these little comics they used to give us. I remember this being advertised and a small little like promo about this game. Now, growing up, I did not have a PlayStation at all, so I just mainly had Nintendo stuff. It was my friend who always had everything, you know, that guy that's very famous on this channel, who always seemed to have the games. He's the one who had the PlayStations, and I remember asking, we're gonna get Yakuza, I think you'd love it, I think you'd love it. And he just never did. And I remember one time we were in Walmart together, because his parents used to give money to us just to go, you know, have fun for the day, especially in the summer. And I remember going to Walmart in this little complex that of stores that we had in our neighborhood. And I'd say, you know, come on, man, it's right there, it's only 20 bucks or whatever it was at the time. And I'm like, you know, it's on sale, let's get it. And he just didn't seem to be that interested in it, because I would have loved to even just be a spectator, you know. And I might make a video on just spectating games, because I did that quite a bit growing up, besides just playing it. And I take a lot of enjoyment out of watching people play games too. So I thought I would be fine if he would just play this, and I would love it, you know, like it would be great. And it wasn't until recently, you know, I think it was last year, where there was a whole bunch of sales that were on, and I think it was Best Buy, and I went and bought all of the Yakuzas that I could, because they were all happened to be on sale, and for the PlayStation 4. So I played this, and I was not disappointed. Fantastic game. Love it. Great game. Was not disappointed. I'm sad I waited this long. It took this long to get there. I love this game. It was fantastic. Nothing more you could say about that. If you haven't tried Yakuza, I do think you should try it. It was a wonderful game. I beat it. Now this has been completed. So that's part of the reason why maybe The Witcher hasn't been touched, is I lived and breathed this for about a week and a half. It was great, and I just finished it maybe about a week ago. So like, this is such a good game, and a part of me actually wants to start Yakuza Kiwami 2, or the second one in the game, or in the series, because it was that good, where I want to just say screw the rest of it. And that's the other thing I want to talk about too, is being in that gaming mood, in that headspace. Just, I had this hankering for a beat 'em up action game, and this is perfect. And by actually going with that urge, I was able to not only enjoy this game immensely, but I was also able to beat it, right? Because you're in this sort of mood to do so. And that mood kind of carried over a little bit, where I'm now playing Shenmue 1. I never had a Dreamcast growing up. I actually never knew anybody. Nobody on my street. Any of my friends in school, if they had one, they never mentioned it, but no one I knew had a Dreamcast. So I missed this game. And it wasn't until they re-released the first two games that I was able to pick it up, several years ago now. And you know, I'm not too sure if I might make a review on it or not. I might at some point, because this is my first introduction, and I've been watching some people who have played Shenmue back when it was new on the Dreamcast, and there are some people who are always like, oh, I wish I could re-experience it for the first time in the modern era, and those who are very lucky. And I have to admit, I've been very lucky, and it's been different. It's a different game, much different than what I was expecting, especially coming off of the heels of the Yakuza series, which the Yakuza series was sort of inspired by the Shenmue series a little bit there. But it's been pretty fun. I've been enjoying it. I'm almost done the game. And what's nice is, again, this is on my list of games to beat this year, so again, it's nice to have that almost done, and I've enjoyed my time there. Another game that I have been wanting ever since the GameCube came out, but I could never find it. And I remember one time, I vaguely remember wanting to rent it, but somebody else took the rental copy, so I had never really experienced this game. And I don't remember anybody else ever talking about it, but I've been wanting to play it for a long time, and I put it on my list, and I found a copy for the 3DS, Luigi's Mansion, the very first Luigi's Mansion. I am almost done this game as well. It has been a really fun game to go through. I've enjoyed my time with it. I like the mechanics. Luigi's funny, you know, it's awesome. I think it's really neat. And I would like to, you know, in part getting this off my list is important because I do want to play the third one at some point, especially around Halloween. This would be perfect for Halloween. My wife wants to play these games at Halloween, and I definitely agree with that. It's a really good game. I've enjoyed it. I mean, this one for the 3DS is I believe a port or very close as possible to what was on the GameCube. Maybe a few updates here or there, but nothing crazy. But it's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. And glad it's on my 3DS, because being a dad with kids, they often are watching their shows and whatever on the TV, and it's nice to sometimes just grab your Switch, undock it, and, you know, and take it off, or your 3DS, and just play in handhelds. So I've always liked handhelds for that reason, so that you can just play when somebody else is using the television. So those are the games I've been playing, and all of those games are on my list to beat this year. I've also been dabbling again with Genshin Impact. It's a great game. It's an RPG, free to play, right, on most platforms. It's been really fun. It's an enjoyable game. I love the atmosphere in there still. I love the characters and the designs. I love the anime type inspiration that comes from it. It's really, really fun, but I'm taking my time with it. I might not even get close to beating it this year or even next year. Who knows? It's just sort of an enjoyable game just to go through and play once in a while. I've also been playing a couple of games on Game Pass, and I might even make a video on Game Pass and talking about that because I've now been dabbling in that. And I do have some thoughts about Game Pass. And many of them are positive, but there are some worries, of course. But I've been dabbling in there, and I've come across Forza Horizon 4, which is a game I've never played any of the series at all. And I thought, what the heck? You know, I'm just going to start at 4. You don't have to, you know, I'm assuming they're all very similar. So I dove in. That is a beautiful world. That is a beautiful world. I love the seasons concept, the dynamic weather, and how it works. I am impressed. It was an excellent, I've had an excellent time. I'm more than halfway through. I'm now in winter. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. I don't play it continuously or anything like that. I actually am just playing it for fun. Because one of my favorite things to do in Grand Theft Auto, right, was just drive around and have fun and be crazy. Well, you can do that here too. You can run over, you know, fences. There's no people, obviously. But, you know, you run over fences. You can, you know, go off into fields and barns to find cars and things. It's been really fun. And sometimes it's nice just to go for a joyride through this part of England. It's very fun. Or I don't know if it's necessarily England, but definitely it's part of the Britain there, United Kingdom, I'll say. Another game on there that I've played, put some time in, and realized it wasn't for me. It's definitely in the done category. Is the Flight Simulator. Now, a little bit of backstory. I used to go to arcades, both in terms of malls, bowling alleys, hotels, even some restaurants used to have a small arcade, and I was always very happy to go in there and play some arcades. And the ones that always drew me were simulation ones. And I remember there being this at this one Best Western in my city, there was a flight simulator there, and I remember playing it and always crashing, of course. But they're involved, they're in depth, and I always was kind of drawn to them. So when I seen this on Game Pass, I thought I would give it a try. And it's definitely like I expected, even back in those days. It very, very complicated, very in-depth stuff. I did some of the training, not all of it, some of it, because I found some of the training kind of boring. But I did that. The graphics, again, are wonderful, okay? This is a really, really fun and beautiful world. You know, going over, for example, Egypt, going over Cairo, right, seeing the pyramids, flying between them, seeing a sphinx, flying in New York, right? That was real fun. I actually enjoyed that quite a bit. It was a lot of fun. And, I got maybe a good 3, maybe 4 hours worth of fun before, I don't know, I kind of felt like it was getting redundant, and I wasn't able to figure out certain controls because it is very in-depth, and I wasn't sure what certain buttons were doing and pulling certain levers and things. But from what I got out of it, I enjoyed it. And it's a nice looking game, very in-depth. If you're into that kind of thing, you'd love it. If you like flight simulators, you're going to feel right at home here. For me, it was sort of just nice to just sort of be along for the ride a little bit. It scratched that sort of itch of mine that I had, and I'm happy. And so it did what it was supposed to do, but I probably won't go back for quite some time because for me it wasn't about living and breathing it. It was just sort of experiencing it, and I did enjoy what I had experienced. Another game that I've been playing, and this has been very recent, as in the last couple of days, has been the Tennis World Tours 2, and that was a free-to-play game for those who have the PS Plus kind of membership for online, to play online with the PlayStation services. And I actually really enjoyed the game. I'm not good at it by any stretch of the imagination. I just sort of dove in a couple of days ago just to try it out, right, to see what it was about. And it kind of sucked me in for a good 2.5 hours one of the evenings there a few days back. It was a lot of fun. I'm terrible. I'm not great. I got through a couple of matches and won, but it's definitely a game where, or a sports title, right? I'm not one that usually plays sports titles in general, but I don't mind tennis. It's quite fun. It's definitely something that requires skill and really learning the buttons and the command inputs. And again, the gameplay's fun. The controls I have found are pretty responsive. You're definitely getting some good serves and things in here. And I have enjoyed what I've played thus far. So yeah, I've definitely enjoyed it. If you have a PlayStation Plus membership, you might as well take a try at it. It's quite fun. I enjoyed it so far. Again, this is just a story mode. I don't even know if there's an online mode. There probably is an online, but I haven't experienced that, and probably will not because I suck. So I don't want to do that. The last game I've been sort of dabbling with and playing was I think was a free game on the PlayStation last month, I think, and that was the WWE Battlegrounds, right? And this is a game that I think is also on the Switch as well, I think. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it was on Microsoft as well. But anyways, it's sorry, Xbox, on Xbox, not Microsoft. Microsoft owns Xbox. But anyways, it's a fun little wrestling game, and I actually like wrestlers. I remember years and years ago when I was a kid, my friend, the guy that has every game, used to have this, I don't even remember what title it was, but it was a wrestling game. Definitely a WWE, or WWF at the time maybe, game where you got to create custom characters. And I remember having pointy-shoed characters, and we used to have a lot of fun, and we were like wizards and had the wizard hat. It was quite fun. I really enjoyed the game and loved it. In this game, it's a little more, the art style is different, right? It's not like necessarily very realistic like they were back there. In that era, that's more like a very interesting type, pop vinyl type thing, or what are they called, those Funko Pops or whatever they are. They're kind of like that, and it's very interesting sort of graphics and design choice. And the wrestling's pretty fun. Like, I'll be honest, it's quite fun. I've at least a quarter of the way through the game. Again, I'm not playing it to beat it necessarily. If I do, that's great. But it was definitely, I'm having fun. And that's the point of games, right? Is to have fun. And I'm having a lot of fun with this WWE Battlegrounds. Again, another reason why I like it too is it's something that you can play, because the rounds are, about less than 5 minutes. They're quick. So, if you have, 10 minutes to spare, playing this is quite fun, right? You don't have a lot of time to game. You can get through some of that story there. So I've definitely enjoyed it for that reason. But yeah, guys, with that, what have you been playing? And I hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much for being a part of this channel and stopping by to listen to some guy talk on the internet. So with that, guys, thank you so much, and take care. Bye-bye for now.